Hello everyone, my name is Moringa Prince Christian. As the world continues to evolve, human beings continue to endure or to absorb physical abnormalities, which are mainly known as the diseases. So, I once had a granny who was 70 years old. She was suffering from breast cancer. The breast cancer, immediately when you suffer from it, you result from effects like inverted nipples, hair loss, involves many suffering throughout all these years that you encounter that diseases. So I mainly would like to emphasize on today's topic talking about euthanasia. What is euthanasia? Euthanasia is a legal way. It may be proceeded into a legal form by which doctors might use in order to put a suffering to someone's who is in the hospital, who is suffering from a really rare disease that can cause him much pain throughout the years that he's living or she's living in the hospital. So many people believe that euthanasia, if it's legalized, it allows doctors to put in position where they can control a person's life. But according to NSBI 2009, it is mostly asserted that if doctors have their responsibility or have that right to initiate the euthanasia in the hospitals, will morally improve them, give them the moral of improving a person's wellness, improving the person's health, because it's their job to provide a good health to someone. So it will not be fair if someone continues to suffer and the doctor in mind knows that he has something that can put that suffering to an end. So mostly people would like to get that idea, but they cannot refute the fact that euthanasia put an end to suffering. It is the death with dignity, and it is the moral of overall of over destroying the financial burden that most patients face in the hospital. So let's more talk about those reasons that people cannot go against or cannot refute against. Let's talk about end of suffering. So according to Marcus 2010, he asserted that most people really in the hospital, they continue to suffer that pain. They continue to endure that what that pain continues to cause, what that pain continues to do to them, what are the effects of those pain. So he mostly wanted to negotiate or to establish a statement that euthanasia comes as the solution to putting an end to that suffering. So let's tell the world, let's tell everyone that lives on this earth that euthanasia is another way, another cross pathway to pass through so that you can put an end to the suffering. So let's talk more about and narrate on how euthanasia is a death with dignity. So it's not mainly appropriate if at your funeral they talk about how your death, how this person suffered a lot. It continues to increase how people in the funeral are going to react to your death. It continues to give them that idea that the disease that killed you, it endures much pain. But if euthanasia was put into place, you would have been dead by the time in which you couldn't have bear all those pain or all those sufferings that that disease that you were suffering from causes. So according to Lucas 2019, he mostly said that euthanasia is another way to die with dignity, because it mostly emphasizes people with diseases to not encounter the pain that diseases causes or that diseases reflect to a person who's lying in the hospital. So by that, what Lucas really meant to say is that it is important that if a person is suffering, why encountering the death that contains all the pain? Why encountering the death that mostly involves pain? Let's put an end to suffering and die with dignity, with not suffering a lot. And let me talk about more about how it is a novel abstract of the financial burden. Byarangiye. Reka de-